Earlier this year in February, I was in Paraguay doing a project on yerba mate. And while I was there, I was going from community to community telling the story of these different farmers. And the last community that I ended up in, I got into the village and I was filming with the little kids, and a few minutes into me being in the community, I found out that they were gonna go collect water from their water source. And so I said, would you guys mind if I travel with you to go collect the water? And so I walked with them, and we got to a point where there was a gate, and they said, you have to stop here because where we're going is we're actually trespassing onto someone else's land to get our water. Which was already a point of shame, you could tell, for the community to have to actually go onto someone else's land illegally just to get the most basic human need of water. And I watched as one of the young girls crouched down and she sort of disappeared on the horizon next to these cows and goats and drew up some water. And she brought it back, and as you can imagine, sharing with livestock, it was full of debris, full of dirt, and probably parasites that would be really unhealthy for anyone to consume. And as we were walking back, I was just so weighed down by the fact that that was their reality day in and day out. And I ended up locking on to one of the kids, one of the babies who is a part of the community. He was the same age as my son is. And I just felt this deep sense of, this is not okay that this little guy is gonna grow up without water. And so I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna do something about this. That night I went home and I packed up my things and I was set to leave the next day, and I woke up and I got my COVID test in the morning to fly home. And just before I was headed to the airport, I got my results, positivo. Not the good kind of positivo. And I was shook. I was already out in the jungle for over a week and I was ready to go home. And I was now stuck in a hotel in Asuncion for I don't know how long. And I was devastated. I wanted to get on that plane and I wanted to leave. And I was laying in my hotel room bed and I was so just feeling sorry for myself. Like, why did I get it? No one else on the team got it. And I was just laying there kind of running through all of the reasons why it wasn't fair. And I sort of came to this point where I was like, all right, Jake, you've gotten it out of your system. You need to stop feeling so sorry for yourself. And I decided the best antidote to stop feeling sorry for myself was to do something for someone else. And instantly the village popped into my head. I thought, I'm gonna make a film about what I saw. I'm gonna put it on social media. I'm gonna share it. I'll create a GoFundMe, and we're gonna do something about this. And so I did exactly that. I posted it. I went to bed that night. The goal was $5,000. And when I woke up, we had over $6,000 in the GoFundMe account. The thing that really touched me was that it was from people in all corners of the world. There were Paraguayans that gave to it. There were people from my childhood that gave to it, family members, friends. Everybody from all different phases of my life had come together for this one project. And so I took the money and I sent it to the contractors in Paraguay, and I said, we did it, here you go. Time to start digging the well, I guess. And so they got to work, and then I ended up testing negative, and I came home and I went about my normal life. And a few months later, I got a phone call saying, Jake, the water's ready. And so I thought the only way to really know that this is done is for me to go and to celebrate as they turn on the faucet there in that village. So I flew back to Paraguay. And I got there and I remember walking into the community and being greeted by the elder and just feeling this sense of community, this feeling of family. Like, I don't speak their language, they don't understand what I'm saying, and yet there was something that brought both of us to tears. Then the children walked over and guided me towards where the water was, and they turned it on. Watching them turn on the tap and watching the kids play in it and collect these water bottles full of this clean drinking water, I felt so I felt so humbled because they kept saying thank you to me, and I was like, it's not, I had the camera, I had the tool, but it wasn't me that did this. It was a whole community behind me that did this. It was a bunch of people that will never come here and meet you. It was a whole bunch of people that cared enough to give 20, 50, 100, sometimes $1,000 to you guys because they felt that this was important, that you are important, and that your story matters and that your health matters. And to me, to be that conduit in between the two worlds was such a powerful experience where it didn't start with me and it didn't end with me, but I was able to be some sort of a bridge, some sort of a financial and emotional and spiritual bridge for all the people that gave, people like you watching right now, and for the community that's experiencing it. There's no greater honor and there's no greater gift that I could be given. And it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to seek out the next opportunity to give and be generous and play a small part in someone else's story, so that way we collectively can leave this place a little bit better than we found it. So thank you so much if you were a part of helping make this water well happen. And yeah, let's keep our eyes open and our hearts open. Thanks.